we're in the assemblies, we're looking at the enforcement piece as a critical piece of what we need to reconstruct. And in the General Assembly Handbook, it states that the militia is composed of state citizens. Can state nationals work in the militia in volunteer positions?
What I should have said is that the officers of the state militia are state citizens.
Oh, the officers. That's
right.
What I was thinking. Okay.
Right, because everybody can join the militia and serve the militia, and everyone has an obligation to do so.
Right.
Frankly, but our forefathers were real sticklers for conflicts of interest. They saw how British greed and guile could serve into our nation and result in exactly the situation we've got here. And so what they wanted was for us to always put our faith and trust in people and in organizations that were free of conflict of interest, that were not secretively prejudiced toward the British or secretly prejudiced toward the Pope. They wanted us to have a government that was centered and grounded in its own self-interest as Americans for America.
Makes
and
sense.
So the state citizens become very important in that because they have accepted a singular allegiance to their state of the Union. And so that's why they are the ones that are eligible for important command positions in the militia.
Very good. And the other important purpose of a state citizen is that they can perform a citizen's arrest.
That's another aspect. Citizens can perform a citizen arrest. An American state national isn't a citizen, so they can't perform a citizen's arrest. There are certain other things that a state citizen can do that a state national can't do. For example, we discussed addressing international affairs for the state. If there's a question of, say, a compact or agreement between neighboring states about commodities or transportation of commodities and various things that come up between the states, that needs to be handled by state citizens because an American state national might be working for a federal government or for a corporation in a different state that has, basically got some sort of coercive force that they can use against that person. And this has only gotten worse as time has gone on because, of course, society itself and the structure of all the corporate entities has expanded. So I might be living in Wisconsin, but be employed by a organization in China.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see how, my employer tells me that I have to do thus and so I do thus and so as part of the obligations I acquire as my employment, right?
Uh-huh.
I have a contract as an employee and I ride for the brand, as they say in Texas. But what if that riding for the brand puts me at odds with what's good for my state?
Right.
And my community?
Right.
And so being a state citizen and having no such entanglements and being able to make decisions for your state with a clear conscience is an important thing. And you can see why the founders made it that way.
Links to Anna's articles and resources can be found in the video description box. Thank you for subscribing, liking and sharing.